Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Football Fever. I'm Pete Byrne.
And I'm Bennett Wise. Something has to give tonight between two of the top teams in the NIC squaring off.
That's right. South Bend Riley is enjoying its best start since 1965. The Wildcats are 6-0, and they're leading the small school division in the NIC.
And on the other half of the league, New Prairie has won 5 straight since a Week 1 loss. And tonight, the 5-1 Cougars welcome the 6-0 Wildcats. Big game for both teams, non-conference at that, but nonetheless, second quarter, the Wildcats down 20-6 and in the red zone, throwing the fade, but it's intercepted by Hayden Scott, and New Prairie protects a 14-point lead heading into halftime. Third quarter we go. Riley on the doorstep again. Dominic Jolly gets the carry, waits for the crease, and dives into the end zone. The 2-point try would fail, and the Wildcats trail by 8. But New Prairie would put the clamps on after, holding the Wildcats scoreless from there. New Prairie gets to 6-1 with a big fourth quarter, 35-12 over South Bend Riley.
And they will take on Penn next weekend. Speaking of which, beautiful harvest moon over Freed Field tonight. Penn looking to move into a first-place tie with New Prairie if they can take care of St. Joe. This was a defensive struggle early on, late first half. Penn finally gets on the board when Jake Bayless gets into the end zone to make it 7-0 Kingsman. On their next series, 4th and short, Nolan McCullough cannot get it. St. Joe's defense holds and forces a turnover on downs, but how about the Wild Bunch defense? Causing havoc all night long. They get into the backfield and drop Alex Ortiz. Penn still pitching a shutout. They're going to get the ball back with under a minute to go in the half, and they go 52 yards in just 2 plays. Nolan McCullough hits Kellen Watson, who does the rest, breaking a couple tackles and takes it 37 yards to the end zone to make it 14-0.
Just like
Penn gets the win tonight, 28-0. And Elkhart is looking for back-to-back victories for the first time this season. Lions in South Bend to take on Adams. This was another defensive struggle tonight. Adams actually moved the ball very well in the first half. First quarter, Phoenix Clark feels the pressure. Takes off. He's going to pick up 15 yards before he's knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, but Adams would not score, penalties halting that drive. This game was still scoreless late in the first half when Elkhart's going to put together its best drive of the night. They do it with a healthy dose of Connor Dow, who gets into the end zone for the first points of the game. Elkhart would then pull away in the second half for a 34-0 win.
Back to the NIC Small Division, 4-2 John Glenn steps out of league play for a future game, or a game against a future conference foe in LaVille. They are 5-1. Now with opening kickoff, everyone's getting settled. This is Julian McMahon from the goal line. He's got the crease and off to the racing. McMahon, a 100-yard opening kickoff return, and the Falcons jump out to a 6-0 lead. But later in the first quarter, Glenn back to punt. Braden Foster LaVille on the rejection. The punt block sets up the Lancers in the red zone. And it would take just 3 plays for Cody Allen to set the blockers. Look at the second effort. Able to jump across the goal line for 6. LaVille will trail at the half, would score 21 answered over the final 2 quarters to win it 31-27 and improve to 6-1.
And finally tonight in the NIC, Jimtown welcoming South Bend, Washington. We're going to pick up the action in the second quarter. Jimmy's defense pitching a shutout up 21-0. Gabe Glass gets into the backfield and drops a ball carrier. So Jimtown led by 3 scores at halftime. And when they come out in the third quarter, they would add to it. Put together a nice drive that Colin Crispin's going to finish with a 5-yard touchdown run. Jimmy's get the win tonight, 35-0. The other 2 NIC teams in action tonight. Marion on the road picks up a win over Angola, 39-14, and Bremen shuts out Prairie Heights, 34-0. South Bend Clay will play a home game tomorrow afternoon. All right, Mishawaka has been perfect through the first 4 weeks of the Northern Lakes Conference, but they still have work to do if they want to lock up a conference title.
Yeah, starting tonight against the defending champions of the league, that would be Northwood.
That would be very good work because Northwood was probably the favorites to win this year. They got tripped up a few times earlier this year, but tonight at Andrews Field, they can get themselves back in the thick of things if they can knock off Mishawaka. Well, here's a good start. Owen Rader hits Keith Miller for the score. It's 7-0 Panthers. This game would end up going back and forth all night long, and now it's Mishawaka's turn. Brady Fisher cuts around the far side, picks up a gain of 25, and that brings us to the second quarter with Mishawaka in business. They're a touchdown away from tying or taking the lead, and they get it right here. The sweep to Novell Miller, who's going to score. 2-point conversion makes it 8-7, but this game I mentioned back and forth would end up going to overtime where Northwood stops Mishawaka on a 2-point conversion, and the Panthers take down the Cavemen tonight 43-42 in extra time.
It's going to be a fun last couple of weeks for that conference
Three-way
championship.
tie now, potentially.
Yeah, we got Northridge at the Jake against Concord. Minutemen with 2 straight wins. So this is Northridge's Braden Clark early in the first quarter. The design run has the left edge, takes off down the sideline. It's a pickup of 50 yards, and the Raiders are in Concord territory, but they have their field goal blocked. That's Concord's Simeon Lake coming in for the rejection, and the Minutemen set up shop. The ensuing drive, Bo Brunner pulls it on the read option, has the block, and would take it 60-plus yards to the residents. It's the first score of the game, 7-0 Concord. However, Northridge proved stout from then on in a back-and-forth contest. The Raiders win a barn burner, 21-14, and reach 6-1 overall. That top of the Northern Lakes. It's going to be very interesting.
Let's see now if Warsaw can stay there. Hosting Wawasee tonight with the W Trophy on the line. It's a 1-point game in the second quarter. Wawasee's Reed Riedenbach boots a field goal through the uprights. Wawasee takes a lead into the half, 9-7. So we move out to the third quarter. More Warriors. Mason Shoemaker fires to the end zone. Dallas Miller has it. Wawasee now up 15-7. Warsaw, remember, in a tie for first, but now they're on upset alert. But that wishbone offense would get rolling, and back come the Tigers. Reed Zolliner follows his blockers into the end zone to make it a 1-point game. Warsaw does rally to win this one 22-15. So now we got a 3-way tie atop the league.
It's going to be fun here. Big game between a couple of 4-2 teams in the Hoosier North. North Judson visiting Triton. Second quarter, Trojans up 6, but North Judson's Trey McGowan looking deep. Cole Shively picking it off, able to have the concentration to bring it down to the ground, and Triton takes over and marches downfield with Shively, who is unstoppable. The QB keeper up the gut, breaking a handful of tackles and sets up the Trojans in scoring range. And shortly after, why not Shively this time? Look into the air on an absolute dime. Javen May for the touchdown to make it 13-0. Triton wins big over North Judson, 40-7.
Other results tonight, it was Goshen edging Plymouth 24-21 in the Northern Lakes, Caston over Culver, and Fairfield edges Garrett by 3.
Rochester 63-0 over Northfield. Tippy Valley, they're 7-0, 35-13 over the number 2 team in West Lafayette, and Winnemac winning big, or rather winning against Wentz Central 22-14.
Knox a big win over Pioneer 50-8, and at last check, Michigan City was leading Portage 21-8 in the fourth quarter. I'm Pete Byrne for WSBT 22 News. For more local high school sports stories, like and subscribe to the WSBT 22 YouTube page. Thanks for watching.